Besides, you're a painter, you're also the president of the Royal Academy of Art.
Yes, yes.
These are two totally different roles, I would say, one administrative, one artistic.
Well, this is why I'm doing these diptychs, you see. I lead these double lives all the time.
You've been doing it for 8 years.
For 8 years, exactly.
How challenging was it?
It's very challenging. I'm working to my limit all the time, but it's a completely fascinating thing to do, and it uses a part of my brain that I don't use in the studio, because I need to be a diplomat as the president. I need to be quite a politician, making everybody happy, which is impossible, but I try. But at the same time, I need to analyze situations. So I need to use the analytical side of my brain. And I do 3 days in a suit and tie, trying to look presidential. And then I'm in the studio for the next 3 days. And when I'm in the studio, I'm so exhausted, I'm so tired with the analytical thinking, the other side of feeling, painting, moving, making comes in. So I think it's been good for me somehow as an artist to have these two roles.
Was it not distracting? I mean, it's to be a president, to be a painter, they're like two totally different personalities.
Yeah, but there's something very beautiful there too. Imagine you have an organization that's very old, very distinguished, and imagine you could make the organization think like an artist. Imagine. This is a beautiful idea. So when it was set up 250 years ago, with a few painters going to see the king saying we need to have an academy, and he supported it, it was a beautiful idea. They put the idea of art and architecture right into the middle of the establishment. It's a wonderful idea. And the king supported them for about 15 years before he ran out of money. He had other things to do.
The king ran out of money.
The king ran out of money, of course. And then we were completely independent ever since. So we received no money from the government, no interference. We're completely free, which is wonderful, but also difficult, because we need to raise all the funds ourselves. But
Part of your duty.
Part of my duty. Part of my duty. I will be asking you for a contribution later.
Yeah, I would.
After
20 quid, as I promised.
Yeah, I think you can do better. I think you can do better than that. But anyway, it's a beginning. But it's this idea of an organisation run by artists and led by artists, I think, is a really fascinating thing, and it's certainly kept my interest. And my fellow academicians have tolerated me. Every year, I must be re-elected in a secret ballot.
We were just talking about this, the election process.
Yes.
Were meant to be a secret. It's like the Oscars. You didn't know the final candidate who is going to take over your responsibility until the last minute. Completely,
yes. I mean, should I describe the scene to you? What happens? We have a room in the Academy in Burlington House called the General Assembly Room. It's not much bigger than a gallery, and into this room go the academicians. It's normally about 80 people. They shut the door, and then we vote. And it's a secret ballot, and we vote, and we vote, and we vote, until there's just 2 people left. Then they vote against each other, and then one person becomes the president. Not quite yet, though. So what will happen on December the 10th? I'm in my medal. I have the result. I stand up, I take my medal off, I put it on the new president. Then they go and wait in a room. They call the Queen.
They call the Queen?
They call the Queen. And the Queen has to say yes. She always says yes. And then they're the president. Then they go out and meet all the staff. But for me, that secret ballot happens every year. Not the full election, but this, just to make sure they're happy with me.
What about you personally? What do you think are the moment that you're most proud of to be the president during the past 8 years?
Well, I think clearly the moment when we opened our new building. We made the Academy twice as big. We took a new building. We converted it as a very beautiful master plan development by David Chipperfield. So probably my proudest moment was when I greeted the Queen and she opened the building.
Oh, wow.
And I took a big risk. So I'm standing on the stage, Her Majesty is here, and I said, and the building was very cold, really cold. And I said to the audience, I said, the more observant amongst you may have noticed that we haven't finished the building. But it was the truth. We hadn't finished. We had just one day for the Queen to come.
Yeah.
You can't finish a 10-year building project on that day.
Right.
And luckily everybody laughed, so that was okay. That was okay. But it's impossible. The main thing was, the spirit was, we were opening the building on the 250th anniversary. And with new galleries, beautiful new lecture space, and we raised all the money ourselves. So that was a great moment.
And with that under your belt, are you happy to leave the presidency to be back to be an artist?
Yeah. For the first time for years, I've got a diary. It's like a field of snow. There's nothing in it. It's wonderful. Nothing in it except the studio and painting.
So, on the other hand, do you think being the president in the past 8 years has any influence on you as an artist?
I think so. I think it gave me some confidence somehow. I mean, I have to speak in public a lot now. I think I have to make decisions. I think all of that is good for me as an artist. Have more clarity about my decisions.
Has it actually influenced your art at all?
It's made it better.
Has to be. Has to be better. So now, by the end of this year, you're going to welcome this new president, and then you'll be back to be a pure artist. And so, what will be your plans in the future?
Well, there are exhibitions coming. I think I will be returning to China in January, and but then after that, there's an exhibition in New York next year. In I think it's May, and always more plans.
Is it more like a confident, okay, this is finally what I want, this is to be a pure artist?
Well, it wasn't like that. Don't get the impression I was. Don't get the impression I was in prison for the last 8 years.
It's always nice to be calling the Queen, every year. Yeah.
Well, there are some responsibilities I won't have, and there were very serious responsibilities, of course. Very serious. I mean, we employ 360, 370 people at the Academy, and as I said, I'm always at the limit of my knowledge and my abilities with it, but I love it, and it's an important thing. But in the end, I'm an artist. I'm a painter, and that's how I started. That's how I finish.